How's it going, everyone? I was getting my car ready just because I got back from work a few days ago and haven't had a chance to do it. What I normally do is take out all my work related stuff, clean up the car a little bit, just straighten it out because by then it's been kind of a mess. And I was going over my emergency kit. This is a tote that I keep in the trunk of my car. I used to have just the emergency kit right there, kind of loose, with a couple of other random things, but as you accumulate more things, they move around, bang around, or can get messed up in the trunk. So I put it in this tote. These are things that I found to be very practical in my drives. I drive hours at a time. Sometimes they'll tell me, hey, I need you in Utah or Colorado, or I need you to go to New Mexico by tomorrow or tonight, or can you take off right now in an hour? So I like to have things ready. The main thing I typically do is fuel up, check my tires. Everything else I pretty much keep on top of. And these are some things that have helped me out in the past. There's one thing that I'd like to get, and it's one of those jumper packs. I used to have one, but unfortunately it, died on me. I wasn't maintaining the charge on it, and one day it just stopped working. I went too many months without using it, but it did save me on two separate occasions. One time I fell asleep at a rest stop, and I just, turned off the car. I thought I turned everything off. Just rolled down the window a bit, knocked out. Woke up 4 hours later. I had not turned off my headlights. So a few hours later, the battery's dead. Nobody around, hundreds of miles from anywhere. No vehicles passing by to ask for a jump or anything. And then I remembered that I had the pack. I had just received it the week prior as a gift, and it worked out. It saved me, jumped my car, was on my way in minutes. That's the only thing missing from here. But in here, I have an empty gas tank. I typically didn't carry one until not too long ago. A family member ran out of fuel, asked me to go and take them some, and I had no container to pick up the fuel in. So I ended up purchasing that. They're relatively inexpensive. This is like a 2.5 gallon one. I did do some modifications to the cap where now I can just twist it off, flip it the opposite way, extend it, and just pour. None of that safety stuff that prevents you from being able to pour. You end up making a huge mess. It's annoying. So I removed all of that. This is some antifreeze. It has still a little bit. It used to be full. I've used it once or twice, I think, in the past. But I had a small issue, so I had to put antifreeze. Everything's good now, but I still have it there. I can use that for water if I ever just need to, get water for someone or for my vehicle and just fill it up again. This is some oil. This is some brake fluid, transmission oil. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, power steering on that one. And the brake fuel, brake fluid. Aside from the gas tank and the antifreeze, I do have some brake fluid and power steering. The power steering is this one, brake fluid is this one. They're not full. I've used them just a little bit to top off the fluids over time, but they're pretty full. And this is another power steering fluid that I had. I didn't realize I already had one, so I bought a second one. But whatever, it's better to have more. I do have some zip ties. I've used these in the past. I've struck things while I was driving. I hit a raccoon, bumper was hanging. Couldn't take it all off at the same time, couldn't have it dragging, so I zip tied it until I got somewhere and had it replaced. Some paracord. This is good for tying anything down, whether it's something for the vehicle, or maybe you're helping somebody else, you just happen to be with them. They got to tie something in the bed of the truck. You have some paracord. These are some of the cleaning supplies, the tire foam, the little chamois cloth. These are some gloves. I picked these up when I was in Nebraska. A lot of snow out there. I had to change out a tire. These are really helpful. They're not the best once you start getting closer to zero, but for the most part, you're not going to be out there anyway for an extended period of time. I was able to change out a tire pretty quick. The snow and the really, really intense cold will motivate you to move faster. And here I also have some Teflon tape and some electrical tape. I do have some more electrical tape in this kit right there. This is some of that barrier cream with silicone. You pretty much put it on. It'll help you not get stuff all over your hands, whether it's chemicals or oil, things of that nature. It'll allow you to, for the most part, wipe it off. I do work around oil a lot, so that is something that I use, just not very often. For the most part, I wear latex gloves, but if there's ever a situation where I have to, I can just put some of that cream on. This is some eye wash. Again, if you're working with chemicals, oils, dirt, you're under the car, wind blows, all of a sudden you have dirt all over your face, you can, rinse your eyes out without using something like just a dry rag. You definitely don't want to be wiping your dirty eyes with a dry rag, end up scratching your lens or something. Here I have my emergency pack. This has basic medical stuff in it. Tourniquet, it has just some basic painkillers, antihistamines, scissors, gauze, alcohol pads, antibacterial, things of that nature. I have that antibacterial spray with the pain reliever, little things like that. This is a headlight. I do have this, but I do need to get replacement batteries for it and just have the battery pack in here. I don't want to leave those installed. It'll ruin the batteries or ruin the light. This is a travel kit that I have. This was gifted to me. In here, I just have some like toiletries. I travel a lot again, so if I'm ever at a hotel unexpectedly, I have basic shampoo, lotion, wipes. In here I have some wet ones if you ever just need to wet your hands. Those little cylinders are floss. So and there's toothpaste in here. Little handy to have things. Again, you're on the go. You could unexpectedly end up getting stranded somewhere or having to stay somewhere you didn't plan to. And it's nice to have that little deodorant, things of that nature. If not, it's just gonna be for a more uncomfortable night. This is my Predator blade. I have this pretty much if I ever need to cut something. If I'm ever out on the road, something for whatever reason, I just need to cut something large, I'll have something to do that with. I mean, you could use it for self-defense as well, but in my case, I'd probably just use my gun, but it's an option. And this is an extra belt that I had. I purchased one just to be on the safe side because I was going to take a long trip, and the one I had on was still good. I just felt better because it had been a while. It has no signs of like tears or breaks or anything like that, but I figured I'd keep it just in case because mine does have a serpentine belt, my vehicle. If the belt goes out, that's the radiator and a bunch of other stuff, so I'd rather not have to deal with that. If the belt ever does go out, I know I have a spare. In here are jumper cables, a tow rope or tow strap. It does have a little air compressor. I do have a second air compressor that I need to repair. This is the other air compressor that I have. The cord is cut, so I do need to get a replacement little DC plug that goes into the cigarette lighter, little 12 volt. For that, if you all ever need one, since they don't sell them, just go buy anything that plugs into a lighter that's got 12 volts. Everything should be 12 volts if it's going to be plugging into that type of outlet. Just cut it, connect it with this one, make sure you tape it up. It's not crazy high voltage that you have to worry about, anything really going wrong with that. Make sure the cables are contacted good to one another. Tape them up to be safe. If you can, solder them if you have that ability and the tool to do so. But this is my emergency tote. Like I mentioned, the battery jumper pack is something that I'm missing. I'm sure there are other small things I could have in here, like that emergency kit is missing the tire plugs in case I ever get a flat. Not a fat, but a flat. And aside from the tire foam, another thing I typically carry that I just realized I need to replace because I used it not too long ago is the Fix-A-Flat can. Fix-A-Flat has saved me one time in West Texas, 2 a.m., ran over something, not really sure what it was. Next thing you know, I'm flat. No places open, nothing around. The Fix-A-Flat can worked. It got me through the additional 4 hours of driving I had to do, and replace the tire the next day, but it got me home. And that's really what this is all about. It's just getting me home. I would like to throw in some basic tools, like a small ratchet set, screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, maybe some channel locks. I don't want to weigh this thing down either. So this isn't going to be a whole entire toolkit. I don't want, if I wanted to, I could take my 300 piece, Craftsman set, put it in the car. It's a car. I do still need trunk space for my belongings. It is a Honda Accord, not a big SUV. So space and weight are a factor. I don't want my car sagging in the back either. Again, this is just basic things that I found throughout the years of, a lot of driving that are actually helpful. Same thing with this. This is a coat hanger that's been opened up. I've helped people open their car doors with that. It does come in handy to have one already just kind of opened out. If you want to, I'm sure you could probably get like a plastic wedge. Easiest way to open most doors for any type of vehicle. Pull the top of the door back a little bit, stick a wedge in there, just, small gap, centimeter, that way you're not messing up the door, breaking windows or anything. And then just use a rod of some sort, in this case a coat hanger, and press the unlock button or pull the handle. Almost all cars, you pull the handle, even if it's locked, when you pull the handle all the way, they will open. I think there are a few that don't, unless you hit the lock because it's not engaging the handle, but those are very few. It's just, again, small stuff that'll help you get through the day. There's really not too much else that I think I need in here aside from those few things that I mentioned. I do have things like a tire gauge, but those are in the vehicle. Whenever I want to check the tires, I don't want to have to go in the trunk and open this up and look for it. I used to have it right here in that little emergency kit, but it became a hassle of pulling it out. So now it just sits in my glove box. So what do you all think? What small thing am I missing? I also do normally have a small fleece blanket in here because I was just kind of redoing this. It's not in here, and I believe my dog was using it, so I need to get another one. I'm sure I could wash it, but when it comes to pets, you don't ever get that completely out, so I'd rather just get a small little fleece one. I'll either have it in here if it comes just with a blanket by itself. If it comes in a little plastic zipper kind of bag, like you do the bed in a bag kind of things, if it comes in a small bag like that, I'll just probably put it off to the side inside the vehicle. Unless it fits in here perfectly, then I'll just put it in here and close it up. But that is my emergency kit. Well, I should see my road kit here. And of course, if you wanted to, you could lock it. I don't, it's in my trunk already. But if you ever have to, take it out, put it elsewhere, you could put a lock on it. I do have a lock in there in case I ever need to lock something up. I do have the locking key. I used to lock it, but because it's in my trunk and I'm the only one who has access to my vehicle anyway, I decided it was just a bit much. One thing I do like about this is even if it's a little on the heavy side, it does have two wheels on this side right there. And it does have this handle, so you can just drag it. So again, if you're by yourself somewhere, you're taking this out, you don't want more than what you can carry. And the whole purpose of this is for it to be a mobile device, a mobile unit that has all these things. If I have so many heavy tools and metals in here that I can't move it, then it's not mobile at that point. Might as well just leave them in the car. And because this is in my trunk, my spare tire is in my trunk underneath that little floorboard cover. So I do have to pull this out if I need to change my tire and put the spare on. So this can't be crazy heavy. And even if you can lift it, do you really want to be doing that? Could be like what happened to me. It was 2 a.m. It's dark. Last thing I want to do is drop it. All of a sudden I have stuff all over the floor I can't see. And I do have a flashlight in that emergency kit. It does need batteries, but I do have my rechargeable handheld flashlight in my glove box. So I will mention that because you could be stranded in the middle of the night. That light that I have in there was a light that was gifted to me. They run about maybe $20 at Walmart. It does have that magnetic end, so you can just kind of stick it to the side of your vehicle while you work on your tire, do whatever you need to do. Again, I have another flashlight for that in the vehicle, so it's not my biggest priority, but I do need to get those batteries. Another thing that I would recommend that I currently don't have because I did use them was a spare set of headlight bulbs. They're kind of pricey now. They run about $30 a pair or more for standard vehicle. A lot of vehicles, the single bulb is running $25 to $30 now that I've seen them recently. But have a separate, just spare set of bulbs in your car. You could be driving somewhere, your headlight goes out, and there is a risk of being pulled over, but just as bad as being pulled over, you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. I travel on I-10 in West Texas, so it gets extremely dark. There are no streetlights out there. You will notice the difference if you go from from two headlights to one. It looks like you can't really see anything beyond the few feet in front of your car. It makes a big difference, especially since it's only one side of your vehicle lighting up the road. Same goes if your brake light goes out. It's just something quick, easy to repair. Most vehicles, you can just detach the light or the plug, replace it, and be on your way. So another thing I still have to get for this, I did use the last one. My headlight did go out, and I didn't have to stop and buy anything. I just pulled over, replaced the bulb, was on my way in minutes. All right, that's it for today. Again, just thought I'd take a video of this since I was already kind of working on it, cleaning it up. As you can see, like I said, I work with oil. My hands aren't always the cleanest. Maybe later I'll give this a quick wipe down.